Good morning, everybody, and welcome to the Tigers Moment Show presented by Reagan Booto under the production of TMN. And today we're going to have two different groups that are going to present. One is going to present about swipe out anger, and the other one is going to present about domestic violence. So I'm going to ask Dr. Cox to explain us exactly what is going on here this morning.
Every semester, faculty members in the political science department get asked, why do we have to take this course, Political Science 101? And one of the ways to answer that is by having students do a civic engagement project where they actually have to go out into the community and do something that relates to American governance. And this time we had a number of just outstanding projects by the students. And well, I could only pick two to be on the program, and really want to, again, thank Reagan for inviting us. Now, one group of students will be presenting on the Swipe Out Hunger campaign. And again, this was an outstanding project, and they were helping to feed the hungry in the community. And again, they do deserve some recognition for this. Now, the other group will be presenting a very difficult topic, domestic violence. And this is something that's very hard to talk about, and again, it does make people uncomfortable, but then it's very important that we do discuss it. And one of the things I was very encouraged with in the class is that a number of the students who chose this topic actually were men. This frequently is depicted as a woman's problem, that's men beating up women. But no, it's not just that. I mean, it's women sometimes attack men, men attack other men, women attack other women. This is a problem for all of us. And it's very important that we put it in that context. This is not just a problem for one group of people. And again, I want to commend the students not only for their outstanding work in doing this project, but also for their courage in presenting a topic that is really very difficult to talk about. Okay, so.
Thank you very much, Professor. Let's go ahead and give it up for our professor. This is a very good job he's doing, and then let's go ahead and give it up for him. Yeah, this is the first group. My guests are Katie, Nicole, and Ines. So they're going to talk about swipe out anger, and then I'm pretty sure that the audience and everybody have got a lot of questions, and then please react to their presentation. The floor is yours.
So today we're going to talk about New Manna, the nonprofit organization that sponsors Swipe Out Hunger this year on campus. They are actually located in El Dorado, Kansas. They've been live since 2008. They have packaged over 34 million food stuff for people in Haiti. Each bag of food costs approximately 30 cents.
There are 3 ways to get involved: donate, volunteer, or host an event. For every 10 people that do these things, they can package 1,500 meals per year.
If you're interested in New Manna and you want to sponsor an event or contact them, you can just go to their website, newmanna.com, and they have all the information up there. They have stuff about previous events that they've hosted. It's a very nice website. Please check it out.
As for the actual event at Fort Hays, there were different sets of volunteers. A lot of us were all-day volunteers, and basically we just go in and we set up the program. And it is so easy because New Manna is such an organized program, and they've been around for so long. And they really make it very easy for us students to help out and everything. And then the sheer number of volunteers that we had for the event made it go by so easily. And we were actually able to surpass our goal of 32,000 meals, and we made 35,000 meals. And most of those were going to feed people in Haiti who had just been affected by Hurricane Matthew. So the actual process is kind of like an assembly line where you have 10 volunteers per table, and then you have 10 tables. So really you only need 100 people to make 35,000 meals, which is pretty amazing. And they do this event at Fort Hays every year, so if you guys are ever interested in volunteering, it's always available. It's through the Global Leadership Project, and you can register online the week before. And it's a really great event to help out with.
Well, thank you so much. Give it up for them. Well, before even I go to the audience, and I have a question for you guys. How long does it take to establish a meal donation program?
The Global Leadership Project has been doing this for about 8 years, so it's been going on a long time at Fort Hays.
Wow, it's very interesting. Any reaction for the public?
Do you have any estimates on the levels of food insecurity and the extent to which this problem exists in Kansas, and particularly in Hays?
Not particularly in Hays, but I know that Nicole has some statistics on how many people around the world last year didn't have food. You can go ahead and...
Last year, there was over 700 million people that went hungry. This affects everyone, not just someone that's poor.
Are there other ways to get involved in the community other than something you suggested? Maybe something you may put on yourself?
Yeah, definitely. There's always ways to get involved. You can do like canned food drives. If you're talking specifically about food insecurity, there are multiple ways. Like you can make something yourself, or you can just, if you want to help like homeless people around the area, you can make bags of food for them. Like literally anything that you want to do can be helping someone in the community, no matter how small the scale, or if you want to bring other members of the community in, that can help as well. Like really anybody can do anything to help, even if it's just one person that's helping solve the problem of food insecurity.
There's also a local on-campus food exchange, so you can bring cans and other non-perishable things to campus, and the students who don't have money at the end of the month or just need more food can stop by and donate and grab food that they need. So if you want to volunteer there, they would definitely welcome your help.
Thank you. One, the campus does have the Victor E. Garden, and I wanted to ask if you had worked with that at all. Also, does Humana work with any of the local organizations like churches or civic organizations in helping to deal with food insecurity in the community?
Humana does work with a lot of churches and community services at like areas all throughout Kansas. Specifically, what they do with the food is more internationally than centralized in the nation. And yes, I have worked with the Victory Garden. Actually, a couple months ago, I picked basil for 3 hours. So that's also a very nice thing. They also like volunteers for that as well.
And really, any group can reach out to Humana and volunteer to help. Like right after the project, I reached out to my old National Honor Society at my old school, and I told them about the project, and they were very interested in setting something up, either like school-wide or within that school specifically.
Well, I have one more question for you. I'm really new in this program. I don't really know how it works. Can you tell me, how does it work? Because I went on the website and I saw something about Humana /80. Did you guys, were you part of that program?
Yes, so basically all the food that we packaged that Saturday went to Haiti that Thursday, and it fed, we made how many packages of food? 35,000. So that's how many meals we were able to provide for Haiti for the relief of Hurricane Matthew. So that's how they partner with Haiti. So most of their food actually does go to Haiti, and they go out within the next few days. They're constantly making trips, taking it over, coming back, and that's why this organization is so popular, because it immediately goes to wherever it's needed, not just it just kind of just sits there. It goes immediately there, and it's very simple to get involved, and they bring all of their supplies with them, so you don't have to really have anything, just the space available. So.
Yeah. Does Humana do it for other places in the world too? Or besides?
Yes, it's just specifically one of the ones that they do is Haiti, because they know a lot of things are happening there, and they need people need help there. So, but they do deliver other places around the world that are in need.
So how many people were there in Haiti when you guys gathered over there?
We don't know how many people are actually in Haiti, but they know they have all the facts about Haiti on the website, and they talk about their partnership with Haiti specifically there.
Thank you so much, guys. I just want to tell you that you are doing a great job for raising that awareness, and then keep doing that job and bring this up, to the public, and people need to know about. These are very serious issues that people need to talk about. Thank you so much. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Ines. Let's give it up for them. Well, we're back here with the group, and the second group, which is the group of domestic violence. And then this is a very important issue. And then we need to talk about it. And I'm hoping that we're going to have more questions from the public. And let's go. We have Ashley, and we have Brady, and then we have Matt. Please, guys, the floor is yours.
Well, as we said, domestic violence affects everybody. It's not just men. It's not just women. Everybody. Men on men, women on women. women on men, men on women. Everyone's affected. And so it is hard to talk about because you don't want to admit that violence is happening. But there are ways to get involved. And I don't know if you guys have heard of the Red Flag campaign, but it's presented by the Women's Leadership Project. And it's an event where they place a bunch of red flags all over the quad. And if you're like me, you probably had no idea what they were. And before I did this project, you know, you're a busy college student, you're running to and from class, you're trying to get your coffee from Starbucks, and you just see these flags. Maybe it's just a new sprinkler system or something, running new cable wires or something. But doing research and finding out what those red flags represented, it really opened my eyes. Each one of those flags represents a small little, I don't know, event that happened in someone's relationship that they didn't notice at first. Could be something that led to domestic violence, but turns out it was a huge warning sign for what could happen. And once you see that and you know that's what it means and that's what it represents, it's really eye-opening to see how many people have experienced domestic violence on campus. And it really is, I don't know, it's honestly, it's a little scary to see that much, not gonna lie. But it's really helpful to see that so many people go through that, and you never know if you read one of those flags that you might have just walked past that person going to or from your class, and you don't know what people are going through, and it's hard to see that. And so one of the events, they say 1 in 5 people on a college campus will experience some sort of domestic violence. And that's not just being hit, that's not just being thrown around, that's the mental abuse, being told that you're less than what you are, being treated like you're less than what you are. And it affects you. You get your mental health affected, it plays into how your physical life goes. You walk around depressed, it's all just bad, it's bad news. But they have an event, it's called the Bystander Intervention, and it's an event that they present where anyone can show up and you are able to ask questions. You read what the flags say, and you talk and discuss about what's happening, about why that's a warning sign for domestic violence. And it really is, it's interesting and it's eye-opening, and I would suggest that all of you who are watching, everyone here, talk to somebody, go participate in one of these events, because it really is impactful in your life. You may not feel it like right now or later, but eventually you're going to sit down and really kind of just consider how you treat people and how other people treat you and how that affects your life. So it's a very good program, and I suggest people get more involved with it.
And then also there is an organization, Hayes, called Options. It's mostly provides shelter, household hygiene products and stuff to people that are victims of domestic violence. And as he said, it's not just man against women. There's women and women, men and men are affected by this. So there's Options Hayes. You can just Google search it, Options, capital O, so they can help you out.
Domestic violence impacts the community in a variety of ways. I know personally I've been impacted by domestic violence. I didn't see the red flags in my previous relationship. And if I would have caught those early on, maybe things in the relationship wouldn't have happened. But because they have happened, I've seen the effects of what it does to my emotional state, my mental state. And if I can be an advocate for someone who is going through it right now or has yet to go through it, I want to bring light onto how important it is to see those in a relationship. When you see something that isn't right, you need to say something. You need to intervene. You may think, oh, this isn't my business, but you could save someone from the hurt and the destruction of their well-being.
This is really important. Let's give it up for them, guys. Let's give it out. I don't know. It just feels real. Let's get to the bottom of this. Explain the word. First of all, what is domestic violence? Because people just can hear the words and they don't really know what it is.
To me, domestic violence is when you're put into a situation that you're uncomfortable with. It could be where someone is saying that you're less than what you are, someone is threatening you physically, or someone is just demeaning you mentally. Or say you're in a relationship and they're pressuring you to do sexual things that you're not okay with. That's when you need to stand up and you need to say something. Stand up for yourself. So then domestic violence will not take place. But what I really want to reiterate is that it's not just physical. When people hear like domestic violence, they think, oh, that person is getting hit, they're being thrown around, they're being punched in the face. That's not what domestic violence solely is. It's based on other factors too.
Thank you so much. And then any question from the public, please?
So there's a lot of interesting topics that you guys could have chosen from. A lot of them have a lot of very much of an impact on people across the world. What made you choose domestic violence specifically?
I don't know, personally for me, it just feels like it's one of those deals that it doesn't get the amount of recognition that it needs. And like I said, further, like the example I brought with the red flag campaign, I never knew what those flags meant. You know, you never stop to think about something like that because you, being a college student, you have a busy life. You got to get to class, you got to do this, you got to do this, you got exams, you have personal life, you have work, social life, you want to hang out with your friends. You can never slow down to stop and think about what the people are going through that you're walking past. And you know, you see hundreds of people every day at school, hundreds. Even if you're going to and from like one or two classes, but to know that that many people are suffering, even from an emotional level, you don't see the burdens that people carry with you. And it's eye-opening to know how many people are suffering. Not just you, even if it's you that's experiencing domestic violence, to see that there are other people out there and that you can do something, even if it's just being there to support somebody. It's just, I don't know, to me it's helpful, not just for them, but for yourself as well. Yeah.
I chose domestic violence because I really wanted to get to the bottom of what domestic violence was, and when I started researching it, I had no idea that I was actually in a domestic violent relationship. And it just pointed out all of the red flags that's through the red flag campaign. And it just became a very personal topic to me. And I want to be able to stand up for those people who are being affected in domestic violent relationships, whether that's they're being forced to do things that they're not comfortable with, they're being put into situations that make them feel uncomfortable, and just being the person who's going to be there for them till the very end.
Thank you, that's very important. And I want to thank you too, Ashley, for coming out, you know, speaking out about yourself. And it takes a courage, and then to come and talk about, you know, your own situation, your own experience. And then I'm very, very touched about this story. And then, any other question over there?
Anybody that's going through domestic violence right now that's too scared to say anything or do anything, what do you suggest that they do so they can get out of that situation?
For me, well, I was already out of the relationship when it happened to me, but what I did was, first I talked to my parents about it, and I was really kind of scared about that. But once I did, I felt like light was brought into that very dark place in my life. And then I decided that it would probably be really good to go to the Kelly Center. What I love about the Kelly Center is they're there for you, it's confidential, and they're not gonna say anything or report it unless you ask them to. And just being able to tell someone in confidence what you're going through, and then them telling you the small steps that you can take to better yourself and your well-being, that's really what helped me a lot. And there's support groups out there for any domestic violence that you might have gone through, and I really encourage people to just step out and take that step of faith, because it will change your life in so many ways. If you just keep it bottled up inside, it's just gonna hurt you more. I know it's really hard to come out and talk about it, but that's honestly the best thing that you can do for yourself.
That's true. Let's give it up for Ashley. She's a strong person. Let's go ahead and give it up for her. And please, if you feel like you want to talk about something, please go to the Kelly Center. Go to the Kelly Center. They're going to be there. They're there for you. They're going to help you.
I just had a question now. If a student or a faculty member saw some behavior among students that strongly indicated a possibility of violence, how should the student or faculty member respond? What are our options in that situation?
First of all, so if it's happening to a student, you could like pull them aside, or if they're like in an aggressive situation, that's when you like could step in and say something. Because by you stepping in and saying something, that could save them from something potentially way worse down the line. So it just kind of depends on how the situation is going on.
Yeah, I got one more question for you because I am from a different country. I am from Africa. I mean, people talk about these issues too, but it's not like it is over here. And does domestic violence happen in gay, lesbian, bisexual, or transgender relationship? Does it?
Mm-hmm. Yes. It can happen in any relationship. It can happen in a romantic relationship, friendship, and even family relationships. It can happen to anyone at any time.
In terms of number, like between men and women, who are the most victimized in the situation? Are they women or men, or is there any balance?
Well, I do know that it happens to both of them. I don't want to say that one is worse than the other because they're both equally important.
More cases are reported of women because men feel subjected to not report that because there's this stigma that you can't. You're a man. You don't want to be. You don't want people to know that you were abused by a woman. It's just it's a social stigma that's put on you.
But that's
And so
wrong, right?
It is incorrect, and then you should, even if it's happening to you as a man, in any kind of relationship, you should report it. You should do something about it. It's just trying to break free from that social stigma that's put on you that you should not be the one being abused, and it's just the way. It's a societal thing that we have to mature out of as a species, really, and just learn that everyone can experience something as horrible as this, and you still have to do something about it.
Yeah, and I understand the pride of being men and everything that we are. Do you really think that women can be perpetrators of domestic violence?
Absolutely. Women can, and that's more, in my opinion, I don't know for sure, but like there are reported cases of it where, I believe in class we talked about a baseball player. He got beat up by his girlfriend. She took her shoe off and started beating him up in the car, and something like that. That's definitely domestic violence.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel there's more of a emotional level to it for women towards men. I don't know statistically if that's true. That's in my opinion, I believe. But just being talked down to like you are less than what you are more than anything, and being felt like you can't do better with yourself. So it definitely happens to men too, but it is reported more by women. So.
That's a very powerful message there, and men are here in the room and men all over around the world. Please, if you experience something like that, come out, speak out. You know, don't just be, use the pride of a man. Please, go talk to someone. And how can I support a friend who has been under that circumstances? What can I do if it happens here?
The best way to support somebody would be first switch to talk to them. Get to talking to them, figure out what's going on. Try to assess the situation, like from their perspective. Get them to open up about it. Take them out to eat, go do something. Get them in a relaxed situation to talk about it. And then once they start talking about it, you can discuss what's happening, how you can avoid these situations, and what plans of action you should take. And as we said, the Kelly Center is one of the best options we have here at the campus. It's great. I go every week, and it's tremendously helped me a lot just to be happier. You just being able to, even if you just go to vent about something, it does a world of wonder for you. So to help somebody, suggest the Kelly Center. Get to talking to them, being there and supporting them, just telling them you have their back and everything is going to be 10 times better than ignoring it and letting them do it by themselves. So.
Thank you so much, guys. Let's give it up for them. Thank you so much for coming on and speaking about this topic. These are very important issues, and I want to thank you again. I want to thank everybody else here coming up, showing up in this show, and making me proud, and making the TMN, who is the producer, which is the producer of this show, very proud about the job that we are doing every day. This is the reason why we created this show, for you guys to come out and speak, for you guys, for reinforcing the interaction between students and faculties. That's why this Tigers Moment is a show for you guys to come and come. Thank you so much. And then we're at the end of our show, and then I would like Dr. Cox to come up here, and everybody also feel free to come up and join the stage. We're going to send out a powerful message to the world. Let's come all out for it.
One of the great things about being a professor is a lot of times I feel I learn as much as the students do. And definitely I learned a lot from reading the papers the students wrote, and I was really amazed by the courage of a number of the students, and also the fact that a lot of the men were interested in this too, realizing that that domestic violence is not just a women's problem. So I just want to congratulate this class for writing some outstanding papers, and there were other topics that we couldn't cover all of them, so we just had to choose. But again, this really is a pleasure, and a lot of times I feel that I learn as much as the students in being a teacher.
Thank you so much, everybody. Say with me, change the world. 1, 2, 3.
Change the world.
Thank you.